I'm very upset and annoyed because my phone is connected to this horrible Bluetooth. And I know I should be more godly-like, and he wouldn't really use that word. But, sorry. What I was saying is that I was watching Monster House the other night, and I was talking about my dream, which was a weird one because I couldn't quite understand it. I saw a neighbor, which was, I guess, who lived on the first floor, and, dang, what an accident. A neighbor that was in a house of 3 floors or 4, I'm not quite sure, but I kept going on to the basement, into the attic, into the basement, to the first floor in 2 different routes, and I was trying to scare them. And that neighbor lost 2 brothers and is only left with himself and his 2 kids. And he said, like, how Kosh and Mom look alike, and I was just laughing, but I really didn't understand that dream. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I talked about last night I watched Monster House, and it was an eye-opener. Like I said, God's been giving me different lenses and stuff, and I'm not sure if it's like lenses in maturity or just lenses in itself, because I was watching it, and in a way that movie was always sick. It was always fire, and I always felt low-key sad too, and I'm understanding why, because what always got me was the fact that the girl died when they first started getting a new life, and that was a lesson that was a lesson in itself, because it also expressed and showed how important it is to handle and deal with your trauma, because it turns out, but she was treated as a circus animal, and every time she got taunted or whatever, she just did the most because she's out of the cage but really don't know how to handle herself in that, so she will just wild out. And all to say is that when you don't handle your insecurities and trauma, it can kill you at the end. And what was really sad was not only because that was their first, I don't know if it was his first love, but they was going to start a whole new life. What was really sad was that he had to become a nasty man, a horrible man, to be with her and to stay with her, or to keep her, or just in general be a horrible man, because what had happened, like, it's crazy what other people's trauma and insecurities can do to you even after the fact, because knowing what happened to her and all that, and he had to literally build a house over the body, was crazy. Okay, what I wanted to say was that he also left himself in that situation because he didn't want to be alone. And I felt like it's crazy what you do just so you could avoid loneliness. It's just wild to me, like, how much you put yourself through pain, like how much pain you put yourself through just to avoid loneliness. And it's wild, because literally my man was in a haunted monster house and said, he's for 35 years, and said, I don't want to be alone. And it's crazy. Like, either way, I know there are 2 different insecurities, 2 different traumas, but that still shows an excess amount of power, not even the enemy have, if you allow it, but how much power you have in yourself, how much will, because if you love yourself and take care of yourself, you won't take in anything and accept anything. But if you're a bit insecure and don't really know and feel like you're not worthy, you will accept every and anything, good or bad, but mostly bad, because that's the one that you are allowing yourself to have, or saying that you accept, saying that you deserve and stuff like that. So while watching Monster House, it was very eye-opening, and it was like obviously it was obviously what's that child word I'm trying to say, not reminisce, what's the word, it was very, I don't know, but I'm looking for the word that's like, watch it again. It was very memorabilia. Oh, no, it's not memorabilia. It was a very good movie, and I enjoyed it, and I missed the first half or whatever, but the last half was crazy. And then there's also another bit about it, too, because it was the kids that helped him get out of it, and you can see that kids hold a lot. They hold a lot of good, and sometimes it's, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it was just the fact that even though he was a scary old man, they all went to him. Even if it was for a joke, even if it was for like a job, they went to him and they still saved him. It shows that you can't always hold your petty and your anger against people, because they're probably going through struggles, and you can probably be the person to help them get out of it through the grace of God, through the help of God, So obviously it's not a Christian movie, but you can still get Christian lessons out of it. God is in everything and anything, and I felt that was very crazy that I was able to get all that through. Bye.